You speak sometimes of the brain and also of the mind. Is there a difference between, and if so, what is their relationship? You sometimes speak of the brain and also of the mind. Is there a difference between them? And if so, what is their relationship? How would you answer this question? So you are learning apparently from me. Please don't. Don't please learn from another. Especially in the psychological, spiritual, so-called spiritual matters. You have to be a light to yourself. And that light cannot be lit by any other. So I'm not teaching. With speaker is not teaching. We are observing our own minds and our own hearts, our own existence, our daily life as we live it. So the questioner says, what is the difference between the mind and the brain? What is the relationship between the two? Is there something separate as the mind, apart from the brain? Or there is only the brain which has created the mind and then tries to establish a relationship between the two, which is a game it can play everlastingly. You follow all that? Right? That is, the brain realizes its limitation because it's conditioned, everlastingly in conflict and all the rest. So, the brain, thought is the instrument of the brain, so it invents a mind, super mind, right? Super consciousness, and then tries to establish a relationship between the two. I don't know if you're following the game it plays. So we are asking, is there a mind which is not brought about by thought as a comforting idea apart from the brain? You're following all this? Most of us, I'm afraid, are so emotional, and react so quickly that we don't use reason. Somehow reason seems to be wrong. So we are understanding what reason, the limitation of reason first, and see if we can't go beyond it. I wonder, right? Does one see the limitation of reason? However reasonable it is, it's limited, obviously. First, so, we must exercise reason, sanity. Not just be emotional about any matter. So, there is the brain, which is conditioned, whose instrument is thought. Thought is brought about through various sensations, experiences, knowledge, memory, thought, action. That's the chain the brain lives with, or lives in that chain, within that area. And knowledge can never be complete. Knowledge must always go with ignorance, always. There's no complete knowledge about anything. So man realizes this, and projects an idea of God. So God is omnipotent, you know that stuff. I wonder if you're following all this. So, is there a mind apart from the brain? And is the brain infinite? Brain is infinite if it is free from all conditioning, obviously. Am I merely spinning a lot of words? Are we following each other? Are we doing it for yourself? As long as the brain is conditioned in any shape or at any level, at any depth, it must be limited. And when that limitation, restriction, confinement, condition is totally eliminated, disappears completely, then brain is infinite. This is reason, isn't it? I wonder if you're following all this.
I don't quite follow that. I'm along with the thought is limitation, but it doesn't go to show that no thought is unlimited.
So, the capacity to perceive wholly, holistic perception is not possible if the brain is limited, right? If the brain is prejudiced. Wait, all right, let's put it much more simply. If you are prejudiced, your thinking is always limited, right? And this prejudice is the result of one's conditioning, right? And that conditioning limits the capacity of the brain. If I'm a surgeon for the rest of my life, I've spent 10 years in the world of medicine, surgery, and I've specialized in that, right? My brain is limited. It cannot have a holistic perception. Even the scientists who talk about holistic perception, if they are conditioned, which is fear, nationality, jealousy, and all the rest of it, as most of them are, their brain is limited, right? And therefore, they are incapable of holistic perception, though they're right about it. You understand what? So, the holistic perception is possible only when there is total elimination of conditioning. And man says that's not possible. You follow? Somebody comes along and says it is possible if you go very carefully, step by step. You understand? Understand it very deeply. So, the mind, this will come rather difficult. The brain, as it is now, is limited by its own conditioning, by its own desire to be completely safe. secure in relationship, in job, secure. Because it feels it can function only when there is complete security, right? That is, if I'm a first-class surgeon and I'm secure in that, the brain functions happily. You understand what I'm talking about? Of course, this reason. So the brain is limited in its action. And is it possible to perceive something holistically apart from the brain? You understand? This becomes wrong. No, sir. This is a little more complex than that. Have you ever perceived anything wholly? Please investigate a little bit. To perceive something wholly is to not let the word, the image, the symbol interfere with perception, right? Let's begin with that. Can we look at a tree that, without calling it a tree, right? We can. Because the word tree is not that. We have used the word tree to symbolize or to use the word tree to communicate a certain object. And so our brain is conditioned by words. I wonder, right? But not, and so can one be free of the word to look? See this show? That's fairly easy, to look at that without the word. That's fairly easy. But to look at ourselves without the word is much more complex. Because we live by words. I'm an American, I'm a Catholic, word. And the content of that word. The word by itself, it means nothing, but thought has given the content to that word. I wonder if all this. So to perceive something holistically, that is to perceive without time, is to have a mind that's global. To see humanity as a whole. Not I am identified with humanity, which is silly, but to see the humanity with all its struggle, pain, anxiety, misery, joy, pleasure, the travail that human beings go through as a human whole. I think that's part of the mind. The holistic perception is the mind. I won't go much more deep, that's enough for the moment. So the relationship between the mind and the brain can only take place when the brain is equally infinite, which is when it's free from its conditioning.